Hi there. It's Arohi with a game that I'm working on. Um, I kind of took a break from photo ops. I'm not sure when I'll come back to that. I just kind of realized that it was a very intimidating project for my first go. So I'm doing something kind of like Puyo Puyo Tetris, like a puzzle battler match 3 style thing. So you have a cursor and you can move around. And then with this, we can move different bits into four in a row, and then it moves to the front. What this is doing is, and then you'll see it's kind of fading into a different color, so that's its animation. So the idea is that you would match three, or rather, whatever the number I end up with. It's four right now. Four to make an attack, and four horizontally to make an attack, four vertically to make a shield. So you would be sending attacks to your opponent who's on the right side, and in this case, I kind of got a combo there. This yellow one is doing an attack animation. I've slowed it down a lot so I can see stuff as it's happening. But the idea is the shield is active for this time. Once this disappears, it's going to shoot some projectile or something to the enemy, and then every time it removes, it goes to the next one. There's still a lot of bugs. It's pretty unstable at times, but I think most of the base components are all there. I just need to make sure it's more synchronous, like that. Yep, just like that. Pretty it's a little unreliable, but yeah, I've been working on it for a good few months now. So we have a few extra things. We got a reset button to just whenever the grid gets super messed up, because I still have to figure out all those bugs. We have a button that's sort of a debug thing just to see if the grid is messed up. So it says all good here. And I mean, if we ever see something that if there's a problem, it'll show up with like oh, huh. Well, that's not all good. That's something I'll work on. So another thing is we can do. We have. I want to be able to use like different characters can have different special abilities. Uh, kind of like aesthetically what Puyo Puyo does, but like actually doing it. So, this is heavily inspired by a game called Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, but it's not a very popular game. But every character with their own like faction would have, different ability they can use. So this would be like a quick attack. Oh, that's delete, which should also be an ability, and that's something else. Okay, skipping ahead. That would be delete, and then this would be a quick attack, so you just immediately do it without matching. And this is a quick shield, which is the same thing. And then this would be a sort of special attack, which is even bigger than regular, but it's got some errors. Oh yeah, and then this thing checks and it shows that it's got errors. So then we also have this very funky one. I was just messing around. I don't know if this will be anything. It's just maybe, I don't know. So those are all the main abilities that can be used, and yeah, so you're just sending it down. I think aesthetically it's gonna be about protesters, because a lot of the times when people do like kind of units sent down one way, I'm like, it's kind of always like a military thing, and I feel like I want something different. So I'm not entirely sure about the whole everything about it. Just I kind of like the idea of protesters and stuff. So that will be like the in the actual game, this one thing you're seeing here will be the left side, and then there will be a mirror version on the right side, and then you'll see in this left side we can't enter it, and that's the queue sort of. So you just see what's coming next whenever you make a match. So if I were to make a match right now, oh wait, so let's do that, and then yep, they come in from the left. So that's all that goodness. Here's a lot of the code. I'm housing most of it in just sort of a 2D array for all the units. I have them in like a 2D array of my unit controllers, and then each of those units has a unit controller script. And then from there, they just, it's just like moving stuff around an array. There are some problems where it's like, oh, the thing is in some position, but it's not actually in that array place. It's a little, it's just managing it gets a little difficult, but yeah. So we also have some events handling. I'm gonna be able to more easily make it modular as I go on with adding particles and sound effects. I've been learning how to set that up. There's a lot of bugs here, and that's why I'm all the comments. This also might have a bug, but this is basically trying to check that when I add something to the queue, that it doesn't immediately make a match, because I kind of don't like when games like Candy Crush, where you'll make one match and then you'll end up with like 40 matches, and you're like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but that's cool. I'd rather it be very deliberate. So then there's a problem here with comboing, that sometimes it's not quite working correctly. This is the actually checking the match, so every time something moves, and I'm gonna find a way to reduce so it's not everything that moves. I have like some conditions of like, oh, if it's if it's on the edges, it doesn't have to check the top, and if it's on the if it's like part of one larger block of things, then why would it need to check anything in that block? So there are ways I know how to optimize it, but I'm not really concerned about that. If I want to make sure it all works, and then I'll add some structures for optimizing it as I go. So yeah, just check some scriptable object that has the data of each of those units. Each of those unit controllers has a prefab with a scriptable object attached to it. Then I then check if this one's equal to that one. If they are, add to a list, and then yada yada, make a shield, and then over here, make a shield. If there's a shield, then we immediately we'll just fuse to it. If there isn't a shield, we don't fuse to it. And that's pretty much it for the giant player grid thing. I have to find a way to kind of break this script up, because it's 700 lines of code. That's a lot of code. And this will be the unit controller for all the ways that the unit moves. Kind of have some references for where it is in the grid array in case I need to get that. Here's all the unit data for the scriptable object. And then yeah, so it would there's still some more things I want to do. I want to be able to make it release an attack after that and then go down that pathway. Um, I kind of have some of it mapped out in my head, but I have to just keep going and adding. But I feel like this is a pretty good, like, solid, stable first build. And it feels like a functioning game as opposed to just like a playground. Uh, well, it still has a lot of work to do. But yeah, I hope you like it. And I'll try to update it more and be less awkward on camera. And that sounds great, right? Okay, take care.